She is bending over, her rump in the air, so that her words fall into the fire. She always wears a knitted hat, even when the weather is warm. The wind whips in from across the foreshore, dislodging the crows from the trees. They flap skyward, screaming like noisy children, squawking and kicking up a fuss. Meanwhile, a robin puffs out his feathers, seeks shelter in the lee of the wall. All summer long, the same attentive robin, the same gang of black-caped crows. She has been out back since early morning. She wears her old, too small, tweedy coat. She says it keeps the damp at bay, stops it seeping through her aching bones. She dips and straightens and dips, and the strain on the brown buttons is visible. The year's last harvest of curling leaves she has swept into a bank at her feet. It is not quite winter. There are no frosts yet. Even so, you can tell the cold is coming. The birds know it. The rabbits too. The smell of it hangs on the air. And there she is, in her old tweed coat, feeding last year's growth into the bonfire, bending over, her rump to the sky, her broad face flushed from the heat. Grunting, she rises. She stares into the flames, nurses her last clutch of leaves like an infant. She does not turn, but she senses my presence. It's a hard old season, she says. We have forgotten the ways of slow growth and the harvest that derives from careful husbandry. How the wintering earth shrinks and hardens, protecting the new growth at its heart. Our new spring crop, our string bean girls, they are seeded and watered under glass. Their pink and purple kernels and pale green shoots, induced to scarlet brilliance too soon. How painful to watch their leggy growth as they tremble on the edge of early fruiting. Blessed is the harvest that ripens with time, but we tear them early from the vine. Dry souls are wisest and best, Heraclitus. These days, more and more I wear my pointed hat and care nothing for those striplings who would mock me. Close closeted by night, I inscribe my coded symbols, hear the voices of my ancestors whisper on the air. I prepare. By slow degrees, I engage in the piecework of starlight. Projects, novelties excite me less. as the children of Nix draw me in. And in time, too, I will build me a fire of dry twigs and the skeletons of leaves. I will burn off in clouds of simple steam all that great weight of the too long unforgotten that pulls me ever deeper down. Passions that bit deep, the wellspring of old griefs that pollute my noisome soul with their clamour. No more will I be tethered to this teeming swamp, hollowed out, my heart burnt out. Now I am for burning away. And as old glue dries to dust, these days I find I cannot adhere to things. Left without substance, without juice and flesh, the bones of my being are laid bare. Stripped of my follies, my prides, my tears, I am reduced to the rock salt of my knowing. I fear a few grains of wisdom is all there is. See, it is blown upon the air. Hush-a-bye, baby, in the cradle of democracy. When the wind blows, the cradle will quake. Hush-a-bye, though daddy croons a lullaby. When the bough bends, it'll shake us awake. Hush-a-bye, baby, we're living with plutocracy. Capital is cool, and all the rich are on the make. Hush-a-bye, we close our eyes and let it lie. When the bough falls, will we see our mistake? Scrap heap, austerity blues. Austerity, you got me down, you got me on the floor. No rainbows shining through my storms, no buds or flowers anymore. Not much money in my wallet, I got little cause to smile. Got lots of cause to worry though, got debts that stretch for miles and miles. Got my children going hungry, got my landlord getting mean. Got no way of moving forward, got a bunch of broken dreams. Got no man to rub my shoulders or to wake me with a kiss. Got no faith in prayers or fairy tales. Seems life goes on and on like this. Buying cheap and counting coppers so as not to break that note. Thinking always who needs uniform, who's outgrown their winter coat. Who has a birthday looming, who has wrecked their good school shoes. It's no wonder how I cry at night when all I got to lose is those going downhill and run down at the heel and can't feel. Kids ain't having no fun 'cause there's Ethel left to live on. Can't stop my crying, feels like I'm dying. Who would be a single mother blues? Austerity, you got me too. Just can't seem to get ahead. I'm young, I should be full of life, but I am full of fear instead. Afraid they'll stop my money if I don't go here or show up there. Afraid I'll never find a job or get a flat, have cash to spare. I did everything they told me. Went to college, tried my best, but now it seems they lied to me and my CV don't impress. Now they give me work experience when what I need's a chance to work for proper pay, a chance to play, a chance to dance. 'Cause Mrs. May, you see, I'm young. I got the legs, I got the shoes. ain't got no opportunity. And me, well, I don't get to choose. 'Cause, well, you guys get the choices. While the likes of us, we lose. We got those no dough, oh no, sanctioned if we don't show, hard luck, mucked up, isn't this a fuck up? What's the point in growing up blues? And austerity you've done for me. I've got a disability. My life's been hard enough without the extra stress you've given me. I didn't choose to be this way. And whatever you might like to think, your targets are unethical and your methods simply stink. Austerity, you've dragged me down so low some days I don't get dressed. I know I should, sometimes I try, but most days I am too depressed. These days, you see, I can't get out. They took away my car. My care plan doesn't care at all. But they say that's the way things are. Austerity, I'm on my knees with precious little left to lose. If I could walk a mile, I'd say, you try it in my worn down shoes. But as things are, all I can say is when the great assessment's made, I hope they get what they deserve and they are left alone, afraid, to feel the utter hopelessness that weighs like a monstrous stone, and to try to live as best they can until the final trumpet's blown, because then they'll see austerity, what it is to have nothing to lose, except those, brother, don't forget me, please let me live and let me be as happy as I can be, scrap heap austerity blues. We rest together, side by aching side, in the grip of our shared, unwanted wakefulness. Stare out the menace of the shifting sky as it makes its slow, sly progress towards dawn. We follow the patterns the liquid light traces as it steals across our wall, just freshly painted. Beginnings come less often, less easily now. We have terminals and endings on our minds. There is much to do. We must attend to our business, update our twin inventories of disaster. You close your eyes and slide down into that pit that writhes with a childhood full of monsters. I take my sorrows from out of their boxes, rehearse the fury of injustices long past.